Hello to you all, Millie Lloyd. Hope everyone is having a good day. It's Old School Gamer 1971 with my top 10 for Protagonist. If you would, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Spread the word, as it makes the channel grow and puts a big old smile on this old face. Post your list down below in the comments. I look forward to reading them. Okay, so it's a new year, so new top 10s. So I think before we get lynched and burnt at the stake for heresy, this is not the most iconic list. Instead, these are the protagonists I had most fun playing. The tough nuts, wisecracking, head smashing, gunslinging, never stop winning, son of a gun. Because of this, forget Mario, Sonic, Jack, Spyro, nor Crash, etc. This is my opinion and not gospel truth. Oh, and by the by, spoiler warning. So without further ado, my number 10, Clementine. Clementine first graced our screens as the little girl that we, Lee, were protecting in the first Walking Dead season. In the subsequent seasons, we've watched her grow. In the second game, we played as Clem. We watched her attacked by a savage dog. She kills the dog after it rips her arm open. She stitched her own arm with graphic detail. She's had to make difficult decisions sometimes, picking her friends and enemies by her choices. She's on this list because savaged by a dog, slapped by Carver. Because she took on AJ as if her own, when she herself was barely a teenager. Because after losing him, she never gave up. But above all this, because after the second part of the final season, I saw #StillNotBitten. And I remembered how much it gutted me. Still, I believe she will get bit, saving goofball AJ. History repeating itself as it did in the first game. Number 9, Solid Snake. My first encounter was Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation 1. Whilst no real way to kill enemies with a gun, as often as I would like anyway, but Snake's gadgets are amazing. Nothing else like it at the time. This was pretty much the first stealth game to the mainstream. Tell you what, confession time. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. My child, how have you sinned this time? Whilst I acknowledge that Metal Gear was a good game. Yes, my child. At the same time, I didn't really like it. Heathen! In fact, it was 5 years after the game release that I finally completed it. You are a unrepentant heathen! 5 years later, I grew to love Metal Gear Solid. Without Kojima, this would never have happened. I was hoping one day for a remake or reimagining. Now I can't see it happening, and without Kojima, Metal Gear survived. But back to the protagonist at hand. What puts Snake on this list is his equipment, his ability to overcome the insurmountable odds, the fact he is still around 20 years later, and us as fans hope that Metal Gear 6 will be a return to form. Also, when he fought the original Metal Gear, it was epic. Number 8, John Marsden. Now, he is a little different, as he was the lead in the first Red Dead Redemption and Undead Nightmare, but a supporting character in Red Dead Redemption 2. Having played them all, I can honestly say he's been on quite a journey, for the Wild West sure was wild for our John. The first time we saw John, he was taken down by a hail of bullets, down but not out. Now spoilers in 3, 2, 1, and his last scene in Red Dead Redemption was a hail of bullets also that did take John out. With wanted posters taking down lawmen and gang members alike, For John to be on this list was quite easy, as he really made me want to step into the world of the Wild West. John was a tough son of a bitch, but in the Undead Nightmare, set in a different universe, he had one-liners aplenty. The game had real humour, borrowing from the horror genre. Add to it the weapons, you can see it's just icing on the cake for one hell of a tough guy. Number 7, Cloud. There is so much to be said, so many battles, one of which going on in his own mind. His mind was broken, with memories of his own and memories of his fallen comrade Zack, to the point he can't recognise what his own real memories are, and an internal fight where only one can remain. He battles across a planet for the planet. At first it was about money. In time that changed. He knows he alone can't defeat Sephiroth. He knows he needs his friends, and even then, weapons, materia and summons. It wasn't his dialogue that put him on this list, it was those tough fights, and many of them. I know for some people it took multiple playthroughs to get the ultimate loadouts, to get the party up to speed. Spoilers in 3, 2, 1. You don't get Aerith's level 4 limit break until after she dies. So you have to complete the game, restart your game with all of your equipment, and then once you've done that, then you've got to build a limit break up to level 4 to use it. But we should get back to Cloud. At the beginning he was an a-hole, but in time he changed. By the time he made it to the Gold Saucer, he changed as a character. To see this in a text-driven RPG is amazing, and well done to the dialogue writers for achieving this. The weapons in this game look amazing back then and today. Look at the trailer, at the Buster Sword and Barrett's Gatling gun. Tell me that does not look amazing. Some of the boss battles, especially the Ruby and Emerald weapons, the summons, the bosses that take your breath away. This list needed Cloud, and we need news about Final Fantasy VII Remake. Expect that once it drops, if the story is the same as the original, Cloud will most likely be a lot higher on this list. Number 6, Duke Nukem. Let me start by saying this is Duke of old, not the abomination of forever. Politically correct, Duke is not, but he is from a time before political correctness. Now I get that for some his brash attitude rubs them up the wrong way. Remember however, offence is never given, it's taken. There is an off button for all of those who are offended, but for those still here, well done. The weapons are good, bosses big, and wisecracks aplenty. The last game felt like an embarrassment, like a dad running into a bar naked, except for flip-flops, sunglasses and a plant pot, down in a pint before challenging everybody to a pub crawl on your 18th birthday. By the way, the sunglasses had plastic rims and a flower on. With loads of enemies and bosses, whilst I'm happy to put him on this list, I hope he never really returns. With each follow-up it diminishes what he once was. No company would dare release a game with Duke as he once was. It's only worth bringing him back to his former glory. So let's celebrate the badassery and give a finger to political correctness. All it achieved was making people intolerant to freedom of speech. Duke was and is great, but we just never have to meet again. My number 5 then, Ratchet. Whilst other platform icons couldn't make it, Ratchet did. He's just so much more rounded as a character. He has wisecracks, he's always massively outnumbered, but it's the weapons. I remember the first ad with a chicken gun, it was so funny. This is a game, at the time I didn't appreciate this game. was not until Crack in Time. Before, it was just another platformer. As a protagonist, Ratchet does tick a lot of the right boxes. I implore anyone who has never tried these games, do so. They're sci-fi platform shooters. What also helps is how many great entries into this franchise there has been. It is a pity there has only been one entry on PlayStation 4. But I do guess that we get a Spider-Man game, so a fair trade-off, but we do need more Ratchet. So my number 4, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. When Tomb Raider hit the original PlayStation, it was something new. Nothing else like it at the time. It was a female Indiana Jones. So why is she on this list? Her weapons are only average. Her quips are entertaining, but not quite belly bursting. But it's the journey we've been on. The menagerie of predators and dinosaurs. It's fighting a T-Rex with only twin pistols, a shotgun and harsh language, minus the last one. She's always outnumbered and outgunned, living by her wits. Later offerings change things up by adding stealth, but she's still living by her wits. It's advised to take things stealthy as run and gun rarely works. Considering she's been around some 20 plus years, let's hope it's not too long for that next entry. My number 3 then, Nathan Drake. Funny how these two were close together. He cracked the top 3 however. He is an all-rounder, wise ass, good weapon selection, stealth and run and gun. With amazing set pieces, the action is always fast paced. The cover based shooter has gone from strength to strength. Drake sometimes takes a battering, Lara did in the reboot. I like his story as a character. His journey may be over, but the Uncharted series will carry on I think, but without Drake. Some of the appeal is you can die in the game as easily as you can kill. In fact, once you ramp up the difficulty, it's one hit kills for both sides. Kill or be killed. It really ramps up the atmosphere, but Drake is the man. His adventure's epic and jaw-dropping. He earns his place on this list because the games make Drake a tough act to follow, and not many keep up. Destined to be on this list for many years to come. My number 2, so we hit the penultimate entry, Dante. Anyone who gets pinned to the floor by a massive sword, then pulls himself up the blade, pulls the handle through his body, picks up the sword and starts to fight with it, will always do well on these lists. Dante is a wisecracking, sword wielding, gun toting, demon killing, son of a gun. Again with many excellent entries into the series, cool weapons, body count and general badassery. Dante feels like he belongs here on this list. Dante's look, his abilities, his actions put him high on this list. In fact, it's only the number 1 being a little more that puts him ahead. But the top 4 were head and shoulders above the competition. If it was best dressed or most likely to floss you by shoving a sword up your bum, pulling the tip out your mouth and flossing away, then Dante was your man. My number 1 then, Kratos. Whether it's the old Greek god of war or the new Norse god of war, Kratos wins either way. Old and new, he was a badass. Same with the weapons, sheer number of enemies, but both games seem worlds apart from each other. But in it all it was Kratos as the constant. It's hard to decide which game's better and which game's best. In the original it was all about revenge for his wife and child. It became stronger once he realised he was fooled into killing them by the gods. The new game, his new wife has passed, and you and your son will undertake a journey to place her ashes at the top of the mountain. In a way, he's also trying to teach his son how to fend for himself, all the while slashing, chopping, decapitating, disemboweling, gouging and smashing your way through enemies in great graphic detail. The voiceover was good in the original, but now Christopher Judge, who played Teal'c in Stargate SG-1, it takes it to a whole new level. Well, that's about it for me today. If you like the list, there is plenty more content like this on my channel. Enjoy the rest of your day. Old School Gamer 1971 signing off.